At a Tarascon, France, church in 1956, Father Noiret and Jacques go about their usual business. As Noiret looks into a disturbance, Jacques watches as he clings onto the priest's rosary as Noiret is lifted into the air, lit on fire, and burned to death. Sister Irene is currently employed by an Italian convent in the wake of the events at St. Cartha's Monastery. Working at a boarding school in France, Maurice has become friends with Sophie, a little Irish girl, her mother Kate, and a teacher. The following day, the cardinal asks Irene to look into a string of fatalities that had occurred throughout Europe, following her vision of Maurice pleading with her to save him. Uninvited, Sister Deborah, a young novice, follows Irene on her journey to Tarascon. While Irene discusses the value of faith to Deborah, she admits that she finds it difficult to believe in miracles, such as the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist. Throughout the train ride, Irene sees a vision in Tarascon in which she pursues Jacques into an alleyway only to be strangled by Volok, the demon who assumes the shape of a nun. Deborah informs Irene the following morning that she met with Jacques, and that he gave her Father Noiret's rosary. Sophie is imprisoned in the school's abandoned chapel, which is off limits to visitors, and harassed by her fellow boarders during this time. The bullies instruct her to stare at a window featuring a mosaic of a goat, threatening to have the devil come and haunt her if she doesn't. The goat's eye glows crimson as the sun shines through the mosaic. When Irene and Deborah get to Palais des Papes, they meet with a librarian who informs them that the demon they are looking into was actually an angel that God rejected, and that the rosary's insignia is actually the family crest of St. Lucy, a pagan martyr. The heathen burned her on fire, but amazingly, she survived. St. Lucy's family saved her eyes and scattered all across the world. The librarian hypothesizes that the demon is murdering St. Lucy's descendants in order to obtain the eyes, a relic that was last known to be kept in a former monastery that is now discovered to be a boarding school. When Irene and Deborah arrive at the school, they discover Maurice struggling with Sophie and Kate. After Irene informs Maurice that the demon is inside of him, the demon takes control of Maurice and attacks both Irene and Deborah before knocking him out. Maurice is horrified by this news. Sophie demonstrates the game her classmates forced her play to Irene, Deborah, and Kate inside the school chapel. Deborah then uses a flashlight to make the goat's eyes on the mosaic glow red. The red light indicates the location of St. Lucy's eyes, which is where Irene discovers the relic. To save the schoolgirls from a demon goat, Deborah and Kate are split apart from Irene and Sophie. Sophie seizes the relic and flees as Maurice, driven by the demon, breaks free and assaults Irene. Maurice follows Sophie, causing the structure housing the bell tower to fall. Sophie is discovered within, and Deborah rejoins the two of them. Deborah acknowledges her faith and that she has witnessed a miracle. Maurice is forced to hold the relic himself after Irene uses it against him. Irene is lifted into the air by him and ignited, but she escapes without burning, realizing that she is descended from St. Lucy and can use the same power connected to the relic. The wine barrels in the former monastery turn into the blood of Christ as Irene and Deborah start to pray the words of institution, which are used in Christian celebrations of the Eucharist. Volok is soaked in Christ's blood, and as a result, the demon dies and is consigned to hell.